I'm at the Audiology Center of NJ, and I'm just 1 week from picking up my new hearing aids. And boy, let me tell you, it is spectacular to be able to hear again. I've struggled with my hearing for years now and really didn't do anything about it. I bought those amplifier things that just distorted everyone's voice, and it was terrible. And I came to Audiology Center of NJ, where Dr. Esmali has fitted me with these hearing aids, and it's amazing to be able to hear again. The frustration that I was feeling in my social life, it had me so isolated that I couldn't hear. I couldn't go hang out with friends because, I could, but I didn't hear anything. So I couldn't contribute to conversations. And it made me, for the last year or two, I've been very, just not becoming involved with social situations and being isolated, and that leads to depression. So I've been dealing with that. It's amazing how many different things that you can link to the hearing loss. My granddaughter came over last weekend, and she's 4, and she has a tiny, tiny little voice. And for probably the first time, I actually heard her say to me, "I love you, Mom." And it was, I can't even describe the feeling that I got from that. To be able to hear that and to be able to just be able to hear it, and it was amazing. I can't even put into words how this has changed my life completely.
And how many times she told you, "I love you," and perhaps you didn't notice it.
Yes, I know. And I thought about that too. How many times she did, and I never responded. And I thought to myself, oh, geez, she probably thinks, why didn't my mom say I love you back? But she does know that I don't hear well. My daughter has told her, I've told her, it's, my mom doesn't hear good. You need to speak loud for me. And
so constantly you have to explain yourself. You had to.
Yes. And luckily she's old enough now where she does understand that she has to speak at a louder volume for me, but she's only 4. She doesn't always remember, so you have to remind her each time. But it like I said, when I saw her last week, and I didn't have to do that. I could hear what she was saying. I went out to breakfast with a friend on Saturday, and I don't think I uttered the word "what" one time, where that was like my primary vocabulary word for such a long time. Again, it is life-changing. It really is. And I would urge anyone that is experiencing hearing loss to not ignore it, because it isn't going to get better on its own. And you need to do something about it, because it will change your life. And if you don't do something about it, like I didn't for so long, and I felt myself becoming more and more isolated and depressed about that situation, about a lot of things, that it just, it's hard to, I think that it's hard for people who do hear well to understand how life-changing it is. My boyfriend, he's like probably the person that I'm with most of the time, and he definitely has an appreciation for what this is doing for me, because he just keeps saying to me, man, this is just so great. I'm so happy that you're able to hear again. He said, I know that it's enriching your life so much. And it has. You don't realize it. You know how that's people say you don't realize what you've got until it's gone or whatever, but you don't realize how bad something was until you fix it.
Yeah, most of the time hearing loss is creeping in little by little by
Right.
little. And the brain, to survive the situation, all it does, it's gonna forget about the good times and just try to struggle and survive.
Yes, yes. And and I have read that hearing loss can lead to dementia.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see where that would be the case, because like a lot of times I have the words on the TV, and sometimes I'm tired. I don't feel like reading the words. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
If I want to watch TV and I got to read the words and try to look at what's going on, and so like I just kind of sit there. If he's with me and he's watching something, I just kind of sit there and let my mind drift off. I'm not really present. I'm not really watching the movie or whatever, because I can't hear it and I don't want to even try anymore because I'm
Yeah.
tired. And I can definitely see it, and like your mind wanders off and you're not there. You're not present in that situation, and it just,
Yeah, and with the brain cells, actually, science has proved it to us that literally, you don't use your brains, you lose it. You don't use it, you lose it. They just go
Yes.
bye-bye. They're
Right.
gone. And that's where the dementia walks in, basically. And most of the time, again, the brain is trying to survive. So it forgets. One of the way to survive things is forgetting them.
right.
Well, it's not a good idea. Well, as you mentioned also, now you brought up something in the middle of your talk that, oh, well, it's kind of difficult for your loved one to hear, for you to hear the loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And many times, unconsciously, people with hearing loss, unconsciously, they would expect for other people to go out of their way to inconvenience themselves, to make them to hear better.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me as your loved one to communicate with you, I have to talk certain way. I have to make it louder. I have to go slower. I have to change the pitch of my voice if I could, which is kind of almost impossible to do that.
Right.
To change the pitch of your voice for other people. Like if you have high frequency hearing loss, I have to talk like a man as a low frequency so you can hear me better.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is an audiologist. Not everyone can do that, even if the person is audiologist.
Right.
So little by little, as much as people love you, they kind of start to drift away because
Yes.
you're too much.
Mm-hmm.
You're loving you, taking too much out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So them unconsciously they kind of move back, and you're moving back in the other way too, because it's a struggle for both of you.
Yes.
Would I be right to say that? Do you think that what I said is right to you?
Yes.
Does it ring a bell?
It does. It definitely does. I've noticed it with my kids, and like you said, it's too much. It's like, and I know that they love me. I know that they love me a lot, but it's difficult. I can imagine how difficult it is. I feel like I mentioned my boyfriend before. He's so very supportive, and he knows that most of the time he needs to talk like you were saying, and he needs to enunciate every syllable for me to be able to hear him. And I'm sure that it's a pain in the butt, and my kids feel the same way. And I've felt the distance growing between me and them, just like you said. At first I didn't realize what it was. Actually, I didn't realize what it was until you just said it. And I thought to myself, you know what, you're right. I can see their frustration with me when I keep going, why I didn't hear you. And my daughter came down with my granddaughter, and we sat for hours and talked. And again, I don't think I said what one time the whole time she was there. And she said to me when she was leaving, she said, it was really great to be able to sit and talk to you. And you understood everything that I said. And it gets you emotional, at times, when you think that you went that long with thinking that was okay,
Yeah.
it's not okay. And like you said, it's not. I'm expecting the people around me to compensate for my hearing loss, and I'm responsible for that, not them.
There are two good things about you. One is it took so much to love you. However, see how lovable you are. That the testimony that they love you.
Mm-hmm.
They were taking it and they just, what is it, sucking it up and saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful. And the good thing about you now, you're taking care of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I care, the problem is not a problem when you can take care of it and when you take care of it.
You said that to me the first time I walked in here. I remember I was so flustered and so beside myself, and because of my situation. And I feel from 2 weeks ago, I feel 1,000,000% better about my outlook, for the future. And, I was so scared. And I know that it's not like you would have normal hearing, but it's the closest that I'm going to get, and I so appreciate it now. I think that until I started hearing again, I didn't realize how much I had lost, and now I do. And I think I told you last week, I hear like the heat come on. I hear things that I haven't heard in decades, literally decades. And it's amazing. It's like, and none of it annoys me because I'm just so happy to be able to hear everything.
And as I mentioned to you, and everyone who got the hearing aids, who received the hearing aids, they know, to me, the first 2 weeks are the 2 weeks from hell, because the sounds are too much, the brain is frustrated, and God bless, you're doing fine. You're doing good.
I told you I had been using those amplifier things, and they helped. They definitely helped me be able to converse with people and stuff, but that background noise, these are so much less than that, and it doesn't distort the sound of someone's voice the way those other things did. So I have been dealing with that noise.
Yeah, it's just that when some people go, there are so much data off internet everywhere. Oh, why are you going to an audiologist? Why do you get a hearing aid? We have this. You can buy it for $10. You can buy it for $500.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly you're a bionic woman. No, there is no such a thing. The hearing aids gotta be good, real, legitimate hearing aids. The audiologist gotta be a legitimate audiologist to fine tune it, to dress it up for your brains.
Right.
And you should be a legitimate patient, real patient who wants to help herself or himself.
Mm-hmm.
If one of these ingredient is not there, well, it's not gonna be a successful story just like yours.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for all the data, you're sharing your information. Is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I would like to just say that I would urge anyone that's having difficulty hearing to get it checked out and fix the problem. Because like you said, it's not a problem once you're fixing it, and it will change your life. There's no question about it. I wish that I had come sooner, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
And it's life-changing.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Enjoy your life. Hey, life is too short. Enjoy your life.
Yes.
Now you have so much more to enjoy. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.